few of these, so I just forget who I played against. Well, that's a problem. So I'm going for the Sicilian this time. Bishop c4. It could be that he's played this against me as well. I can't remember. But obviously this line is kind of innocuous. What should I go? G6 maybe? He's playing the Italian, but the pawn is on c5, not e5. What the difference that makes, what this means for the evaluation of the position, that is hard to say. Okay, so he wants to go d4. Yeah, let me just continue with b6. Not so much preparing bishop b7, but preparing d5. If d4, I'm going to go cd. If cd, then d5. Yeah, I just realized I missed bishop b5 then. And he would get e5 with a good position. Oh well, you can't see everything, can you? Now that he's gone bishop b3, yeah, c4 this you shouldn't do. Now the bishop on b3 is maybe not as bad as it looks, seeing that it can be brought into play by a4, but he's just given up way too many squares in the center, namely, well, the most important being d4. And thus I should be doing very, very well. Yeah. b3, it's a step further on the wrong path. Maybe he wants to go a3, b4, but I can just go a5 myself, and his bishop on c2 is starting to feel really unhappy. So I'll just continue to deploy my pieces. As a matter of fact, knight b4 is starting to get real tempting now. If a3, knight a2, it looks like he's in a lot of trouble. Really works, but so the idea is knight a2, knight c3 is pretty unstoppable. So rook a1 is the only way to sort of delay the loss of the exchange. Obviously, if after rook a1, I'm not going to take it, because after queen a1, my knight and a2 will be stranded. But I will go knight c3, he will go queen c1, that's the only square for the queen. And then I wanted to go queen f6, renewing the threat of knight e2 check, or creating the threat of knight e2 check, followed by, yeah, rook e2, then queen a1. But you can go d4 there, closing the diagonal. And then I'm not sure that it's, yeah, that it's great, actually. So perhaps after rook a1, knight c3, queen c1, I should go something like b5 instead, followed by b4 to support the knight. But certainly then my plan has not been too successful. Now that he's gone rook c1, he's even writing "oh no" in the chat. Sorry, dude, your queen is going to get trapped. Don't want that rook on c1. And there's another rook being trapped. Just shows you that sometimes you don't have to do too much. If you feel that your opponent is on the wrong path, just let him continue to ruin his position. All right, so now I'm going to get myself a 3-minute game. Let me see. Yeah, why not? A friend of the show, the star of the candidates, you guessed it, Lawrence Trent. He gets white as usual. So d4, no more of the Really, Lawrence? This is what you're gonna do? Knight c3? Okay. Let me try and play good, solid chess and see what he can come up with. Played this against Jubava in the whatever the world blitz. And I got a pretty good position. He didn't go g5, which is probably g4, which is probably a good way. He's so confident now. Yeah. So for the moment, I'm expanding. I also beat Fabiano in a blitz game in Norway chess with something like this as white. So it's not completely alien territory to me. Yeah, so he just continues to push on quite logically, considering whether to go rook c8 at some point, but yeah, I do get the feeling that that I should be a little more flexible in that, retaining the option to castle queenside at some point. So that's why I'm going knight b6 instead, intending probably to go bishop d6 next and try to reduce the influence of his bishop on f4, which could be a pretty formidable force. So I'm sure he's looking at ways to get, yeah, b3 feels a bit soft. Like I wasn't actually even intending to go knight c4. This move was all about preparing. So dc5 is logical in that he makes me lose time by moving the bishop twice. But now it feels like I've got a lot of central control. So b4 quite logically. I was pretty happy to force this. He's got knight e4 though, which I didn't see. And he didn't either. Okay, so no more of the queenside castling stuff. I just want to get the rook into play. Knight c4, let's jump in. Okay, so he wants to make sure that he does trade off one of these knights, but I do feel like I'm better here. So there was the threat of knight a3 there. I could have gone knight a3 immediately, but then he has c3, so that was nothing special. Yeah, I gotta castle at some point, right? g6 doesn't worry me the least, so he's gotta go h6, and then I go g6. And although he has some dark squares, I feel like probably doing pretty well. Could go knight a3, but he can take it. Yeah. Okay. f6 feels like I'm better developed, so opening of the game should be a good thing for me. But I gotta play faster. Knight e5. I'm not as comfortable as I would like to be. Okay, let's go for it. Rook c2. fe, fe, if queen g4. I gotta have some kind of counterplay there. Wow, he just castled. He's probably done a video series on AlphaZero and now he thinks he can play like it. Spoiler alert, he probably can. Knight c5, I'm gonna go rook d2 followed by bishop c6, hoping to get d4. And this one I was not so concerned about, maybe I should be. But anyway, I gotta play faster. That should be my #1 priority here. Yeah, this game is turning out to be a lot tougher than the one I had last time, so kudos to Lawrence for apparently improving quite a bit. Yeah, at least he's spending a lot of time and he's getting confused now. This one I'm going to take. Rook f2, there's knight f3. Yeah, I like it. Take the queen. Not a worry in the world. Knight e3. Take the rook. Take the bishop. Made him. Oh, I didn't do this too brilliantly. What am I doing? I'm not even mating him. Oh, finally I did. That was a bit too close for comfort. Well done, Lawrence. I'm never going to make fun of you again after that performance. Hehehe. Okay, back to some 5-minute chess. Clearly I wasn't ready for 3 minutes today. Okay, let's try this one. Buddha 77. Who's Buddha 77? Apparently I've never